Welcome everybody back to another episode of Community Heroes. Today, I am thrilled to have the opportunity to reach back and touch bases with I guess that we did. And I initially saw this on, it was one of the uh, spectral channels where they talked about Brittany being on it was Good Morning America. And I said, you know what, that'd be awesome. I said, let me try my luck and see if I actually contacted and got lucky. So I just want no further ado. I just want to say thank you guys for joining today. And, I'm just gonna kind of dive into it. I'm just kind of curious about since the last time we talked. What are some of the things that's been going on with you?
Well, thank you for having us, Tyrone. Yeah, it's been a while. What's been going on? We've been delivering a lot of baskets, and we have some home visits coming up locally on Long Island. Whenever there's a local baby to where we live, we're able to go and visit and meet the parents and meet the babies. And instead of putting our beautiful all of our beautiful things into a packing box and sending it out, because that's our usual way of reaching the families with our gifts of celebration for the new babies. But when it's a local baby, we get to go to their house and meet them. And that's Brittany's favorite thing, right? What do you like to do when we go? Brittany's favorite thing is to hold the babies. And we call her the baby whisperer. I swear, when the babies look at her, she says they know I have Down syndrome and they do too. And I think they really do.
I can imagine that. It's just something about newborn baby when you just look at them. I mean, I don't care who you are. They just kind of break you down. You just kind of find yourself just want to look at them and engage them. I know my son, he's fine, but just the moment when I was in the room and everything I said I wouldn't do, did, you know. Like I remember I said I wasn't going to look down when he came out, but everyone was like cheering on, and I was curious. I went down there, and I saw him pop down. And then when he did come, I was so overwhelmed with emotion. I
Sure.
didn't really know how to react. I didn't know what to do first. I didn't know like it was one emotion. I try to hold him and grab him. Should I cry? Should I did in that moment. I don't think that came on me was like, and when she got captured on the picture, I kissed him on his cheek for like it seemed like forever. But I realized I cried. I realized it's the most beautiful experience I ever experienced in my life. And again, like you said, well, holding those babies when you look at them, it's like whether it's someone that has Down syndrome or not, babies, all babies are want to be loved and they're all precious.
Well, that's it. All babies are adorable, but we have a special preference for those babies with Down syndrome. You just want to grab their cheeks and they're just all so adorable. But it's interesting what you said, Tyrone, about feelings and how you were overcome with emotion. That's honestly the situation that obviously you have whenever you have a baby or you see a newborn. But what we're fighting, and with many of our other agencies, is the stigma that comes along with the birth of a baby with Down syndrome. Doctors in this day and age are still saying, "I'm sorry." They're painting a very bleak picture of your life with a baby with Down syndrome, and that's one of the things that Brittany wanted to do way back when we started. Is instead of "I'm sorry," what do we want to say? Congratulations. We want to say congratulations, and that's one of the reasons why we put together Brittany's Baskets of Hope. It was Brittany's idea, yeah. And it has grown in ways that we never could have imagined. But that's the bottom line, is that these moms and dads are obviously filled with happiness that they've had baby, but they're also kind of scared. And if you whether you have a diagnosis at birth or whether you've had a prenatal diagnosis, when you know you're carrying a baby with Down syndrome, feelings are, you get to go through those feelings a little earlier. when you have a birth diagnosis and the baby comes out and they say, oh, you know, it's a girl, and we think she has Down syndrome, your emotions are all over the place. You know, you're happy, you're thrilled, you're exhausted, and you're terrified. I mean, I always say we were absolutely terrified when Brittany came out. Not because necessarily that she had Down syndrome. We felt, you know, we figured we could handle that, but we were on a completely different path. And you read all the books and see all the films and go online and research about having a baby. And then here you are hit with baby with Down syndrome. You got a whole nother list of resources and things to research. So it's an unknown quantity that you're kind of a little bit afraid of.
Yeah. And you said a lot of things. Um, yeah, like you said, I hear people talk about it all the time, and I just want to just get your opinion. Do you think primarily because whenever someone is put in a situation where they may have a child that's been diagnosed with Down syndrome, they get a feeling that the level of success or even I don't know, become a part of our social social way of living is going to be very limited or is subpar. You know, and and most individuals just already have this misconception. The chances of this basically living a normal life is very bleak.
Hmm.
Uh, in my, I guess what I'm saying, do you believe that that's probably one of the main reasons why people have like all of these fears, in the beginning?
Absolutely. I think that that people are hanging on to a stereotype of individuals with Down syndrome that is, you know, 70, 80, 100 years old. What we're seeing now, and we are very active in the Down syndrome community, and we see Brittany's a wonderful advocate for herself and for others with Down syndrome, but she's by far not the only one out there. There are incredible young people who are making their mark in the world, not even just in the Down syndrome community. There are actors and models and business owners and um, you know, individuals with Down syndrome just living the life they want and being a contributing member of society. And I think that's what the general population has to realize. And I think that's what those doctors have to realize too. Uh, you know, when they catch you at the beginning and they're giving you these gloom and doom stories. But you know what? The other piece of that is there is a huge part of the Down syndrome community that aren't entrepreneurs, that aren't advocates. You know, they may be living in a group home, they may be having self-directed services, they may be doing the best they can in school. But the point that we're trying to get across too is every life is worthy, and every life is worthy to be lived. And nobody can judge anybody else's quality of life, whether they have Down syndrome, whether they have autism, whether they have a physical limitation or a medical condition. Nobody can say at the beginning, oh, well, you're only going to do this. The same way nobody can limit, you know, a physical person. Um, but as we're going through this, we're also finding that everybody's got some kind of challenge in their life, and nobody should be able to limit possibility of what somebody wants to do with their life.
Yeah. Now, as you were talking, and you were talking about the different career fields and achieving that individuals with this diagnosis have this. There's a model, and I wish I could remember her name. But from that mistake, I think she is the first female model who's been signed to Victoria's Secret. She's a Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's someone I've been trying to work on to bring on the interview. So, but I know she's extremely busy, but I always say, I'm very persistent. I've been just kind of pulling in, and maybe, I'll get lucky to bring her on. But this is time of day, like one of the things that you touched on, and I find it so true. Is that, I feel like with proper support and determination, uh, you'll be surprised with someone that has a baby can achieve that. Look at, you in your daughter, Brittany, something and like her nonprofit. It takes time, it takes dedication, it takes desire, it takes drive. It
Hmm.
takes a lot of things that quote unquote normal individuals, you know, it's tough. It's something you have to have, and I think, when, that's why I was so fascinated with she, her and other individuals have shown that no matter what your limitation is, you can go out and make your mark in society. And another thing you take, um, well, that was very important too. That you know, you got people that are entrepreneurs and actors or whatever, but you got the regular individuals that live at the end of their lives, and we're all kind of all together. We're all in the middle part, and we
Hmm.
all got equal opportunity. Everyone want being great, but we all are in this thing together.
And we all need support. Nothing that anybody does can be done in a vacuum. You need support. Brittany's had the opportunity to have a lot of incredible support, family, staff, and then when she gets on the radar of a show like George to the Rescue and gets some national recognition, it boosted that much higher. So we've been very lucky. But again, I want to turn it around and say if you have Down syndrome and your goal in life is to finish college or to finish high school or to learn how to ride a bike, or to learn how to swim, and that's your goal, and you achieve that goal, well then that's fantastic. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. um, by having the recognition that Brittany's had, we've been lucky enough to get Brittany out in the public eye, and I think that's what a lot of the other business owners and the models and the actors, while they love the field that they're in, they're also incredible role models for the Down syndrome community, and incredible ambassadors for typical people who are watching TV. When you see the more and more you see of people with disabilities on television, in the mall, in your community, the less there is to fear, there are less questions you have.
Yeah.
Everybody just needs to be accepted.
And, and, yeah, that's right. What I noticed during, kind of like during COVID, a little bit afterwards, there was a big push on making sure that imagery of the individuals that had maybe disability, especially then, then a lot of the well, Hollywood realized that these imageries needed to be pushed out more. Because I remember I was at Target and we were shopping, and I looked up and there was a boy like he might be 10, 12, with a hat on, and he was in a wheelchair, and he was on one of those big posters. And most people are gonna be like, well, that's not. Some people may not say that's a big deal, but I'll be 42 in July,
Hmm.
and never in my life that I can recall going to any retail stores and seeing imagery of with individuals modeling in a wheelchair in the clothing store. And you hit it nail on the head. And those type of things need to become commonplace.
They
You
do.
know, I shouldn't get excited and want to be like, let me take a picture because I might not be. I may never see it again.
I hope you're wrong. I hope we do see it again. It's true. Representation means a lot. We have a friend who is scouring all of the stores locally and has given us. There is a Down syndrome Barbie that came out by Mattel earlier, I guess at the end of last year. And that was a huge deal too. So many of these babies and young children growing up with Down syndrome or playing with dolls. But this really resonates. There's a Barbie that has the features of someone with Down syndrome. So in that toy, they can see themselves. And you're right, in those ads at Target and those big posters, um, it's amazing to be able to see yourself, represented there on television, in print ads. And it becomes more commonplace. And that's what we all want. We want the disability community to be represented and just to be viewed like, okay, oh, they have Down syndrome, or, oh, they're in a wheelchair. It doesn't define who you are. It's definitely a characteristic, but it doesn't define who that person is.
I also believe also when like I said when if we start having this to be a little bit more commonplace, it 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 may eliminate some conversations parents may have to have with some of the younger ones because if you never see someone with muscular dystrophy like myself,
Mm-hmm.
you 4 or 5 or someone with Down syndrome because the representation of it is not evident in your community.
Right.
Now you have to have a conversation with your child when you're out and about and you see someone like this for the first time. And I mean, it's okay. I mean, there's a way to do that, but like you say, if it's already commonplace, if you're going out with your children and they've already seen you before, you can have a conversation early on. You know, so and it won't be one of those things where for me to the person that went yet for the first time when they got in the first grade.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's why Brittany was very lucky, even though she hit our local school district in the late 1990s. Um, and inclusion was a very, very baby program at that point. In fact, Brittany and four of her classmates were the first, entering kindergarten, were the first children in our school district to start the inclusion program. And that makes such a big difference. And that's why I know that a lot of the young moms are really pushing for an inclusive education for their children with Down syndrome. Not only should their children be included with typical peers, but it makes a huge difference to those typical peers to understand what it is to have a friend, a classmate that has Down syndrome. It takes so much of the fear, of the misunderstanding, misconceptions away. So I agree, Tyrone. We got to start early, and we have to get those images out there of people with any kind of disability.
Yeah. Uh, in another note, for the summer, we're starting some warm weather and everything. Do you guys have any plans for this summer? It could be whether traveling or why spread the word of your program or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, where are we going? We're going on vacation. Where are we going? Do you remember? Chicago. Well, Daddy and I are going to Chicago. Yeah. And where are we going as a family later on in the summer? Punta Cana. We're going to the Dominican Republic with as many of our family members as we can grab. So um, there's a good maybe 10 of us going down for a family vacation in June to Punta Cana. So we're all excited.
I may have to. Was it genealogy tree? See like you're part of the family. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the other thing that happened with Brittany's Baskets of Hope in the last couple of months is we always put a book in one of the baskets. It's a book for mom. We've been using Bloom, which has been a wonderful addition to our baskets. Um, yeah. But what's happening now is that we're able to support two of our good friends who are authors. Ashley Asty that used to work for us and was a very, very dear friend. She's a writer and she wrote a book called Up, the stories of the Down syndrome community. Brittany has a chapter, Brittany and Ashley have a chapter. And we're using Ashley's books in the baskets. We're kind of changing things up, supporting other Down syndrome entrepreneurs kind of on a rotating basis. And our friends in New Jersey, Taryn Langarino and Jess Corello, bought wrote a book called Dear Mama, and it's stories of a how do they put it? Stories of an extra lucky life. And there are different chapters by different moms of children with all disabilities and their feelings when their baby came into the world and how they advocate for them and how they got through that beginning part. That's always such a, you know, such conflict at the beginning. So we're changing up our reading material. We're supporting some of our other authors who writes fiction books. Outstanding Olivia is about one of our little friends who right now is nonverbal. So it's her mom's story. It's Olivia's story of how she's getting through life and how, you know, everyone's parenting Olivia and the joy that she has in her life, whether she's able to communicate verbally or by other different means. So we're changing things up at BBOH and we're supporting some of our friends who are artists and writers. What? What was the other book? Remember he likes me a lot? Those three that we're putting in right now. I don't remember. The town. Who? The town. Oh well, we have yes, yes. They didn't write a book. They didn't write a book. Mhm. But we have a very supportive local government in our town, and they are wonderful for Brittany, and they support Brittany. And you know, it takes a village. It takes a village to get the message out.
Um, whenever I get the opportunity, the writers that you got support now, if they have like websites where their books can be bought, when you get the opportunity, you can email me that information so when I edit this video and post it online, I will put that in the description so whoever views this video can also, go to their site and
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. And that's yeah, that's what we figured. We're supporting, you know, we're supporting our local um writers and artists and just trying to get the word out and thank them and, you know, give them some activity on their websites too. So thank you, Tyrone. I will definitely email that information to you.
yeah. And like I said, I'm not gonna hold you down. Um, if was, is there any questions you guys want to ask me? I'm done all the questions.
All the questions. How long have you been doing your podcast, Tyrone?
Okay, well, I started my nonprofit in 2019, and I basically started what I'm doing now because one of my goals is I've always wanted to be get a full time job. It was nothing spectacular. I just wanted a full time job, and I've had part time jobs, and I've held multiple titles. Uh, the closest I've gotten was two part time at one time, but after about 15 years in higher education, I told myself, I said, the only way that I'm going to be able to really get the best use out of my skills and work full time is I'm going to have to create my own job. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I was asking myself for the longest, what do I like to do? And I know I like to talk, and I like to mentor. I love, education, psychology, and advocating,
Yeah.
for them. And so I kind of cut it off short. I eventually found a way to give me the way to put all this into a workable job to do stuff. And since then I had a team, created a team of volunteers, and uh, you know, we've been looking up to. At this point, I'm guessing we've probably done 300 maybe interviews or more. Uh, they've gone on to actually start doing their own stuff, uh, which I'm all for that. I believe, if you're going to help someone, if they move on, you should be happy for them because it's always about pulling someone up and letting them go along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm not giving you a long answer, but since 2019,
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, we beat you by a couple of years. Brittany had her idea way back in 2014, and we delivered our first basket when? 2015 was our first batch. So in that amount of time, we've delivered over 3,000 baskets to families all over the United States. So, yep, all over the United States.
Time flies. I know you guys probably can remember like it was yesterday, like starting out.
Yes, and how we thought it was going to start out is very, very different than how it is now. So, as you go through this, you evolve and change, and things come into your life and change how you do things. Yeah, so we couldn't have ever imagined the amount of families that we've been able to reach out to and just give some hope to those new families. So we're very proud of that mission, right? Yeah, the word out. Get the word out, right? Exactly.
Well, yeah, before I wrap it, I want to say thank you guys so much. Like I said, I was super excited when you guys actually replied back, saying you'll be happy to interview. So thank you for doing that. Um, I look forward maybe changing back with y'all again, maybe we'll do it again next
Sure.
year.
We'll be here.
All right.
Thank you so much for having us, Tyrone.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a great afternoon.
You too. Bye bye.